Subaru just stared down the electric future and slammed on the brakes. Why is the brand famous for boxer engines and rally creds suddenly questioning whether to chase Teslas down the zero-emission highway? And what does that mean for the quickest production Subaru ever sketched onto a designer's tablet, the all-new Trailseeker? Over the next several minutes, we're unpacking tariffs, tax credits, factory shakeups, and the hybrid Plan B that might rescue or wreck Subaru's ambitions in America. This is not a tiny corporate hiccup. Subaru moves more than 700,000 vehicles a year in the United States alone, yet barely half roll off its Indiana assembly lines. The rest cross the Pacific. If looming import duties land, Subaru's own finance team warns the bill could swell to $2.5 billion in a single year. Picture a stack of cash taller than the Statue of Liberty, and then imagine it evaporating. That kind of bleed forces brutal choices. Freeze new EV plants, shuffle production overseas, maybe even cancel models fans have been patiently waiting to drive. Let's rewind. Subaru overslept the early EV party. Today, the US website lists exactly one battery electric model, the Solterra. Meanwhile, Ford has the Mach-E, Hyundai fields 2 Ioniqs, Tesla covers every size class, and even Toyota is unloading its BZ line. To catch up, Subaru promised a comeback tour, a dedicated EV factory and a bigger, badder, Outback-sized SUV called Trailseeker. Then 3 storm clouds rolled in. Cloud 1, tariffs. Depending on election year politics, import duties could slap thousands of dollars onto every Japanese-built Crosstrek Forester and maybe Trailseeker. Car shoppers hate unpredictable sticker shock. Automakers hate planning billion-dollar factories while Congress debates percentages. Cloud 2, tax credits. Federal incentives of $7,500 supercharge EV demand, if and only if the battery ingredients satisfy America First rules. Subaru's supply chain still threads through Japanese cathode suppliers, so Solterra buyers already miss the rebate. No tax carrot, slower sales, weaker business case. Cloud 3, demand dip. Last year, U.S. EV adoption rocketed 50%. This spring, the curve flattened to barely 20 as interest rates climbed and consumers discovered cold weather range loss. Ford trimmed battery investments, GM postponed launches, and Tesla slashed prices twice in a quarter. Momentum sputtered, just when Subaru planned to floor it. Caught square in the crossfire is the Trailseeker. Debuting at the New York Auto Show, it should be Subaru's redemption song. Dual motors, 375 horses, 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds, quicker than a WRX STI, mind you. Over 260 miles of range, 3,500 pounds of towing, and the biggest infotainment tablet Subaru has ever glued to a dashboard. The hitch? Nobody knows which continent will build it. Subaru's Indiana plant maxes out around 370,000 units. Once suppliers stretch, the brand sells over 700,000 here. Unless capacity doubles overnight, Trailseekers likely ship from Japan or maybe a shared Toyota line. Import them and tariffs bite. Build them in a brand new EV-only plant and you gamble that battery subsidies survive the next presidential term. That's why Subaru's board just ripped the blueprint off the drawing board and penciled in hybrid and even conventional engine lines beside the promised battery packs. Here's the backup plan. Hybrid heaven. Partner Toyota already dominates. Hybrid tech. Marry Toyota's transaxle wizardry to a Subaru Boxer engine and you sidestep range anxiety, bypass some battery sourcing rules, and qualify for partial credits. Think Forester hybrid, Outback hybrid, maybe even Trailseeker hybrid, with a modest battery for brief electric crawls, yet unlimited road trip range once gas kicks in. Lower risk, quicker profits, easier sell to outdoorsy buyers who camp far from chargers. So what does this mean for you on the showroom floor? First, if you circled 2026 on your calendar for a Trailseeker EV, expect delays or a last-minute pivot to hybrid. Second, Solterra inventories may balloon, driving juicy discounts as Subaru keeps factories humming while shoppers wait for clarity. Third, trade-in values on gasoline Subarus look fine. Hybrids signal that Subaru's all-gas models still have runway this decade. Fourth, performance addicts now know Subaru can build a 4-second SUV. The question is whether the company will manufacture enough of them before regulations or balance sheets say stop. Beyond Subaru, the ripple hits every mid-size automaker. Mazda, Honda, even Volkswagen's reborn Scout brand are watching the tariff debate like hawks. If America's outdoors, Icon hesitates. Boardrooms from Hiroshima to Wolfsburg slow their own EV cadence and pour more R&D back into hybrids. Analysts already whisper about a hybrid renaissance hitting showrooms by 2026, reading the same tax credit tea leaves. Industry fairness aside, consumers could benefit. Hybrids deliver 80% of the fuel savings for a fraction of the price premium, avoid charger queues, and keep resale robust in markets where public infrastructure still lags. The real loser might be momentum. Early EV adopters counted on critical mass to drive down battery costs. If Subaru and peers tap the brakes, economies of scale slip another model cycle away. Yet let's not pretend Subaru is abandoning electrons. The Trailseeker prototype proves engineers nailed electric performance. The moment policy dust settles and battery supply stabilizes, Subaru can flip the switch. Chassis mount points already fit packs, cooling channels snake under floors, and software controlling torque vectoring just needs an over-the-air patch. In that sense, the U-turn is more of a scenic detour. Tariffs and tax credits are temporary. Brand loyalty lasts decades. Subaru's cult following doesn't worship spec sheets alone. They love symmetrical all-wheel drive's security on muddy forest roads, the boxer engines grumble, and the brand's dog-friendly marketing vibe. A well-executed hybrid keeps that DNA intact while future-proofing against California's zero-emission mandates inching nationwide. Still, timing matters. Toyota's RAV4 hybrid outsells every pure EV except Tesla's Model Y. If Subaru waits too long, shoppers will simply defect to Toyota, or Ford's Maverick hybrid, or Honda's CR-V hybrid, and never look back. Market share lost in transition years is expensive to reclaim. Let's zoom out. The planetary climate doesn't care whether electrons spin wheels directly or after sipping gasoline in an Atkinson cycle engine. What matters is cutting emissions soon. A hybrid Forester replacing a 15-year-old Outback burns far less fuel today than a delayed EV parked on a future wish list. Subaru framing this as pragmatic stewardship could resonate with buyers looking for realistic green steps rather than idealistic hurdles. Where does that leave the snarling Trailseeker concept? Insiders hint a wilderness trim prototype mule recently tested solar roof panels feeding accessories and trickle charging the high-voltage pack at campgrounds. A Trailseeker that augments a plug-in hybrid with sunlight while retaining genuine off-road cred would scatter any range anxiety narrative into the desert wind. Subaru might not chase Tesla's supercharger numbers, but it could own the niche where mountain bikes hang off tailgates and golden retrievers nap in cargo holds. So buckle up. Over the next 12 months, Subaru will announce plant investments, supplier deals, and powertrain roadmaps. Each press release could swing Trailseeker pricing by thousands. My advice: stay nimble. If a heavily discounted Solterra fits your commute, grab it and bank the savings. If your heart's set on the Trailseeker nameplate, monitor factory news. Hybrid or electric, it promises class-shaking acceleration. And if you simply need a reliable adventure rig today, a gasoline Outback or Forester still delivers, with hybrids lurking just down the trail. In the end, Subaru's moment of hesitation underscores a broader truth. Car makers aren't dictating the EV timeline. Policy, minerals, and consumer wallets are. Subaru is choosing optionality: hybrid, electric, combustion, all loaded on the same chessboard while Washington decides which pieces may move next. Whether that strategy crowns them grandmaster or leaves them in checkmate will come down to execution, not intention. But one thing is certain: the performance numbers Subaru flashed in New York prove the engineers are ready. Now, corporate finance and global politics must catch up. Until they do, expect curveballs, bargains, and perhaps the most interesting product mix Subaru has ever offered.